So I come from Venezuela and I moved to the US when I was 9. A little bit about my story is I suffered tons about mental health, physical health, everything, depression, suicidal, body dysmorphia, seeking this perfectionist as a little girl, right? We came from the Venezuela, and at the age of 10, I started working because I was growing up with a single mom, older brother. So I upped to this responsibility to become a man, right? To become the head of the house. So from that point on, I started putting more pressure on myself to learning more and neglecting more of me. So eating habits, mental health became more of like numbing mechanism. And I joined the gym because that was the place where I felt like I didn't have to be anything, but just let go, as the place where I was able to feel physical pain and not so much mental pain. So into 14 years old, I even said my age was like 16 because you weren't allowed to work out at 14. So I was like, yeah, I am older. We became friends with the owner and I started lifting weights. From that point on, I started having a lot of seizures, I was fainting like 5 to 10 times a day. Oh my God. My period was gone. I had tons of health issues, and
this
every
was
doctor
here.
So
in Miami?
In Miami.
Okay.
So every doctor was like, oh, we just got to put you on medication. And I used to tell my mom, huge believer, not to take anything. I believe we're all medicine. And she's like, no, you have to. They're saying this. I'm like, no, but they don't even know what it is. They've done so many studies and they don't know why I'm having seizures. And then the more I question, because I was always a curious child, which got me in a ton of trouble, so much trouble. I started doing my research and I was like, okay, nobody's asking me about food. And I literally hate food. Backstory, in Venezuela, everyone wants you to be Miss Universe, right? So I was in an academy of modeling when I was 3 years old. I was on a diet since I was 3 years old. I learned how to walk in heels before walking in shoes. And
You too?
No.
She went to swimming.
I was swimming.
Okay, all right.
They didn't put me in sports. They put me in academies.
We had another yoga instructor on here,
Yeah,
Vanessa, that
was Miss Venezuela.
Miss Venezuela,
Yeah.
but she said she had to be. Like,
yeah,
it was like,
you had to be. There was
it
no option.
There was no option.
They even tell you when you're a kid, they're like, okay, you got to get your nose done when you hit 18. You got to do your boobs.
Wow.
You got to fix yourself because you're not okay. Basically,
it's
right?
sad too because Venezuelan women are beautiful.
They're gorgeous, and
so it's weird. You're like fixing something that's not wrong.
Correct. And to whose standards, right? So from that point, my mindset as a child, you don't comprehend. But my mom kept telling me, don't eat this, you're going to gain weight. Don't eat this, you're going to be fat. So immediately, as a child that my dad didn't want me, right? I was very neglected. I'm like, I have to prove my worth. Like, mom, like, I need her to love me. So when I would see food, I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. All of a sudden, I'm having severe health issues because I'm not even nourishing my body. So hit 18 years old, I get married at 18, and I see this whole bodybuilding world. At that point, I'm already doing hair and makeup. That was like kind of like my first business. I'm doing hair and makeup, whatever. I get married and I see everybody just so fit. I went to a bodybuilding show, had no idea what was bodybuilding, ever knew what was bodybuilding. And I go in there, I'm like, oh my God, these women, like what? And I'm like Google Gaga everywhere. I'm like, just women. Like, man, whatever. I'm like, wow, you girls look amazing. And they look at me like I'm freaking weird, right? Because I love beauty, like I was in a culture of beauty, but I admire beauty because I knew it took so much deeper into what you see outside. Makeup, you're there to put a lipstick on to feel good. A lipstick to just feel good because we can't find that inner work, right? We don't know how to tap into that feeling for ourselves. We weren't taught that, right? We're taught to seek outside so we can feel worthy. We can feel happy or love. So everywhere that I would do what I was doing, working, I'm like, I'm looking outside for all these factors. Maybe I should just start competing. I'm already training. I started doing my own diet. I had a friend that was competing. She was becoming a pro. I'm like, what do you do? She's like, well, you got to eat chicken. I'm like, chicken? Like, I don't want to eat chicken. I used to boil my food. I used to blend it all together because I hated food. Well, oh my God, it was disgusting. I don't know how I did it. Looking back at my life, I'm like, she was nice. I'm never doing that again, you know, learn. But all of that, and to like, it's a very long story, which thank you so much for holding space, led me to where I am today, because I had to learn and seek help for myself. I couldn't afford a therapist. I couldn't afford medication. I was illegal for 10 years of my life. We worked as immigrants for 10 years. So I just was survival mode, constantly survival mode. For me, it was not like, oh, you need to feel this way. No. Fuck feelings. At that moment, it was, what do I need to do to continue moving forward, to put a plate on my a plate on my table, and then pay the bills. You know, you're thinking about how to pay, how to survive. Yeah. So I'm doing 3 jobs, trying to make sure that my mom doesn't work so much, and that just created more health issues. The industry of bodybuilding, what does it do? You're there to be judged. Yeah, and you're seeking for approval. Yep. And then you think that if you look a certain way, you feel worthy. Right. Love. Right?
Also so the screws up y'all's hormones.
Oh my God.
And your metabolism.
So then any coach, then I did my first show. I went to Vegas. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do the bigger show. They're like, no, you need to be known. I'm like, don't know me. It's okay. I'm going to go by myself. I get there, 30 girls, everybody stunning. I'm like super slim. I've always was so skinny. And I was like, okay, we got this, girls. Mind you, I come from modeling. I used to dance also as a kid. So then I'm like owning it. I'm like, okay, this is runway. We got this. All of a sudden I placed 4th and I'm like, what? I didn't even have muscle and I can do this like that? So it opened up a whole journey for me. I became very addicted to the feeling. Yeah. And I started hiring coaches, and they're like, well, for you to look like that, you got to take this. For you to look like that, you got to take this. I'm like, really? Yeah, you got to take that. So then I go into hormones and steroids, and then I'm like, okay. Then the mindfuck became real, you know, because when you're not on the steroids, what happens to your body? You start being like even worse. I was like, oh my God, I got to wear big shirts. I feel fat. I don't see my veins. Like your mindset shifts to something that's so unreal, you know? And then your health. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic at all.
You're putting this whole fake perception of like, oh, this is what healthy looks like. No, you're looking like that for one day. Yeah. I got out of stage and I would gain 20, 30 pounds. In my life, I've gained weight. Okay. So then my body's shifting. I'm feeling all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go back. So the feeling of not being like that perfect, which I didn't feel perfect. Because let's be honest, you can be in shape, you can be in stage. Did you ever feel like you were ready? No. You never feel like you're ready. You always feel like you need to give more, that there's more time, that you need more. And you go into this toxic cycle with yourself. Yeah. So fast forward, I keep saying back and forth.
It's all right. How long? So let's frame it for a second. Mm-hmm. How long were you in the bodybuilding scene and competing?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. And then when did you make the decision to get out of that?
So closer to me hitting 28, I was 26. I was dating a coach of mine.
So the first husband didn't work out.
No.
So
not at all.
Just throwing that out there.
No. First husband, we got divorced and I got engaged. Then that didn't work out. And I said, okay, bye-bye. And then I continue. I believe in love. You know, if I feel like once you find it, you know. So by the age of 26, I got a rude awakening, right? Because I was battling this whole life I started social media in 2019. And I started building a brand online. And I'm like, okay, I was doing at the time hair and makeup in person, and I was training in person. I was already studying nutrition. I studied women's hormones, gut health because of my own illnesses. And the coach that I was having at the time, which we were dating, he had severe mental health issues. So that wasn't quite working. And then life shook me when he took his life away. And when that happened, I had to sit with myself for a long time to understand what's happening. Like what's happening? Like where is my focus headed? Like where am I with my faith? Where am I with myself? Why am I so trying to save everybody around me, and I'm just lost, and I'm like depressed, and I'm just going through it, and I'm like, where am I headed? What am I doing all this for? Like, why do I keep fighting? Like, why do I keep rushing life? And what am I doing? What am I running away from? And then life shook me in a way that I needed to go more inwards. And I stopped competing right after that grief. And I started deep healing, which that's another subject we can go into.
Yeah, we'll dig into it.
Like, if you see me from 3 years back, you'd be like, what did you do? Yeah. And it's like, I started going inwards. I stopped looking.
What do you mean? What did
my
did you
physical,
look different?
my face. I healed my body. I had PCOS, IBS. I had severe gastrointestinal issues. I had so many health issues that I stopped and I went vegan. I started healing my body holistically.
You still vegan?
Yeah.
Oh.
My God, I've been obviously I'm a yoga teacher.
Really?
Obviously.
I feel like we need to
I've
say
been
more.
like made to go vegan, vegetarian, like so many times, and it makes me. I get so sick when
it's not for everybody.
I could wake up and eat a steak. I could eat a steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and when I don't, I get like a cold sore, or I'm like, yeah.
But let me just make sure this is clear. I went vegan because I studied, meaning I went deep into my roots.
Yeah.
And in what sense? My gut health. I don't process meats at all.
Yeah.
They don't digest well with me. They actually create a lot of inflammation, intestinal inflammation. So when I started studying like what was making me sick, food that I was eating that wasn't bad. I was eating chicken, steak, ground turkey, all that. It was making me sick. Yeah. So when I took those away, my body started to heal. So everybody, this is what I do. Like what I tell my clients, I don't do any plans if I don't test you. I don't do any plan because
what kind of testing do you do?
I do full hormonal panel. So we test over 100 biomarkers, heavy metals, your heart, your everything, estrogen, testosterone, every hormone. So, and then for gut health, I do a microbiome test, which is done through the stool. It's the most accurate and most effective way to see what foods are causing intestinal inflammation, your acid levels and all that.
That's
so
awesome.
What's your blood type, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Which it meant to, supposedly O is more like meats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's because I'm O positive.
Yeah.
And we're like carnivores.
Yeah.
So my brother's A or AB, and he can't.
No.
He
It's
can't
more
do
vegan.
it. He's more
Pescatarian.
carbs, I would say.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily vegan, but like I'm like pretty heavy carnivore, but I've tried to get him to do it and he can't do it.
No.
And then vice versa. I tried vegan one time and I wilted away into nothing. I was like, I was the skinniest I've ever been. I was like, this is horrible. And
I'm not hot.
I was gassy. I was like farting all the time. I was like, this is terrible.
No.
So, but I love what you said though. It's so true.
Yeah.
That's why I've always shied away from nutrition advice.
Yeah.
Because it is literally so different for everyone. Everybody has a different story, has a different genetic, so
and what
works for somebody doesn't work. I mean, look at us. Like we're complete opposite in diets, but I think we're doing all right. So
we're doing awesome. Everybody looks great, But that's what I say. It's always like find out what works for you. Yeah. I'm not here. You don't see me ever doing a video like you have to be vegan. Like no, because that's not what I believe. I believe like most of my clients are not vegan, right? So it really depends on what you are inside, how your body's functioning. And till this point, everybody has unbalanced hormones. Everybody has some sort of gut health issues, meaning your second brain, which intakes that you have mental health issues. How many people have mental health issues? Most of us, right? Because it's not something that is easily talked about. Men are so close to share because they have to continue building this persona of like, we don't feel, we're good.